So now that we're finished with the presets, I want to go and talk about snapshots. Snapshots in, let's go back over to the presets here for a second, and I'm going to go back to this guy here. Actually, I'm going to come over to the Vegas one and click on that one. At least it's closer to what I was working on. Then I'm going to come over here to my snapshots here. Now, what I want to talk about as far as snapshots are concerned is you can actually, if you're working with your sliders and you're not quite sure which version of this you like, what you can do is you can create a snapshot. Now, if you're used to using snapshots in Photoshop's history panel, you'll know that snapshots in Photoshop disappear once you close the image, because you're getting rid of the history for that session that the image was open and being edited in. When we work in Camera Raw and we work with the snapshots feature, they don't disappear. As you can see, when I first came in here, I had these snapshots. Snapshots are just the state that the image looks like when you were going through the different sliders, tabs, and all this kind of stuff. Not quite sure what your client is looking for. Take a snapshot, move on, take a snapshot, move on. These guys get saved in the XMP file. They're always going to be there. If I come over here and click on exposure -50, that should darken my image down. That should lighten it up a little bit. And then here I'm working on the highlights and coming through. And it's just a look of how the image basically looked when we're going through that. So if I come back into here, come over to this and click on that, now I am back over with this, and it looks a lot different than it did previously. So I'm going to go set that back to their defaults, and then I'm going to click on that to see what we end up with. Okay, there we go. Now I can come over here and I can create a snapshot, and this is going to be version 1. There you go. Now I can come back over to here and I am going to come down to Who Knew, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on this, and I'm just going to call this one version 2. And then I'm going to come back to my preset. I'm going to go back to this one here. Then I'm going to click on this to get it back to where I want it to be. And then I'm going to come in and, there you go, LSD look. And I'm going to come back over here and I'm just going to call this one. As you can see, I'm getting very creative with my names here, but the point is I have version 1, version 2, version 3. So now I can actually say, okay, do I want that? Do I want this one? Do I want that one? Or do I want the normal one? We'll have to see what the client says, but here's the normal one. Here is an old time retro look, and here is future John Lennon, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds look. All I'm trying to get across to you is that we have the ability to save what the image looks like at certain points of our editing workflow. We can come back and see this stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Done. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under File, and I'm going to choose Open Recent and choose Harley Davidson. And when we come back into here, this will update, and I can come back over to here, and I know I was in there, but if I come over here, I can click on this version here, or I can come into here and notice that my new preset, this one is in there. Come back over to here, I have that one sitting in here. I have my Psychedelic Sunday one sitting in there, and I can come back and click on this, come over to here, click on this, click on that, and these snapshots and presets are saved. All right, I think that's all I want to talk about with respects to the different tabs. After this, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the difference between open image, cancel, done, save your images, and this little puppy down here, your workflow options.